And I need to find my spot. I had to move because my setup broke. Oh crap. Well, I hope that doesn't shut off the audio. It seems fine. Can't tell. But, so I've been working on this playmat, and it's about time to be finished. I'm not comfortable with this being over here. Hope you can hear me better now. Okay. So hopefully we can finish this today for Tara, the person who wants this done ages ago. Once I move this, and welcome to another installment of Let's Draw Inktober. You can draw along. You don't have to draw this, obviously. This is already well underway. So basically I'm just putting the finishing touches on this. I need to put in the water as well in the background. And I think I need to add a fairy over here before it gets too late. There's supposed to be a fairy somewhere. I believe I can put it down here. I'm not sure. I could also do it like up here. Who knows? It's just a number of ways to address this fairy. Mostly I'm concerned with laying down the values and everything that I need to lay down. Just complete silence as we put in the values. So, how have you been since last time? What are you drawing right now? All these things we need to know. Doesn't need to be too dark back there. Or maybe we want it to be, well, we don't want it to be too dark. Just gonna say maybe we can make it all kind of gray, but still more contrast than what's up front. So I want the stuff up front to be textured, this stuff up here to be textured. I'm wondering real quick, I just want to test the focus seems fine. Just wanted to make sure it couldn't get better. Pretty sure it's as good as it's gonna get. Need to be careful about how I'm shading everything. Kind of keep the sun coming from up in this direction. It's hard to come back to a piece and like kind of remember how you started the shading initially. So if you don't know, these two characters are from Magic the Gathering. This one's Thassa and that one's Kiora, the Planeswalker. And this is a sick playmat, I think. I think I did a pretty okay job on this so far. Hopefully I will continue to do that. I sort of wanted these like waves that felt like the old Japanese woodblock printing. That's sort of the wave that I think everyone's familiar with, and I mean, I think it was used a little bit in the Kiora image. I think the original Kiora image that I referenced for this piece. But yeah, it's just like when everyone gets a tattoo of waves, it's always those waves. It's just a very well done stylistic wave. everyone is now familiar with. Just wanted to congratulate Joseph Arnold on all his success in art. It's been a while since I have seen him or talked to him at all. He was a classmate of mine at Mountain View High School years ago. And is, as far as I'm aware, finding some success in comic books and stuff. I saw his image as he was running a booth at some convention in Denver that I have forgotten the name of. Good job, self. But yeah, doing some good stuff. I recall being very jealous of his ability to draw hands holding guns in high school. Okay. Let's just throw down some waves. Let's get nutty. I just want to get the sense that the foot is kind of going down into this large wave, or is creating this like wake, and kind of flying towards us. As far as I can tell, based on the art of this picture, or the original art for Kiora, is that she lets an octopus just zoom her around the ocean. I don't really understand that, as I think octopi need to use their arms to propel themselves, but you know what? Whatever. It's a fantasy world. Maybe they work a different way. I can only see a tentacle. Maybe it's not even an octopus at all. Some sort of kraken that is like walking on the bottom of the ocean. Just like, yeah, whatever. The tip of my tentacle travels at like 1,000,000 miles an hour. It's just creating this huge wave. Okay. I need to really get a sense of depth between these two characters. And I have that sort of with the perspective on the bident that Thassa is holding, and the fact that she is overlaid by Kiora, the front character. But what I want to do is get all these little waves in here and kind of have similar waves up front here. Dangerous thing is I have these kind of lined up almost. So what I want to do is kind of flatten up this area. Bring that back so that's no longer lined up, it's more around this area. I can't imagine like Thassa is like insanely large. Maybe she is. She has like islands in front of her. So, well, whatever. In this, we just have to give her a sense of largeness in the background. I think we accomplished that. So let's do that. This massive tidal wave coming off of her. She sort of has clouds, like the artist who drew her initially. I'm drawing a blank on who did that. I know who did several of them, but I just can't, I don't have the image up right now to reference, but they just used a bunch of clouds. It was like a bunch of clouds and then islands in front of the clouds that were kind of still covered by mist, and then Thassa's in the background behind all of that. So she's really supposed to be like much, much larger than this, but it's all right. Maybe she can shapeshift. She can lose a size or two. We're gonna put some islands in the background here. I don't think anyone has like an idea of how large the gods are in Magic and from the Theros set. You know, like they've seen the images, but like when you just look at an image drawn separate from those, I don't think anyone has an idea. And I think this just reads correctly. So it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Nothing really matters. Anyone can see, nothing really matters. Maybe some clouds. Let's put some clouds in here. Big fluffy clouds. Sort of want them behind everything, but whatever. Have them trailing off in the distance. I don't want to get too thick with the pen here. As if you put on these playmats, if you pen too thickly or like put too many marks in one spot and get like a really jet black, it actually rubs off on the hand later. Even after you spray fix it. So that's a concern for me right now. As I make marks, I kind of want to keep them relatively light. Not to the point of like barely being able to see it, but anyway, I'm getting too much into technique. What's been happening in the news? What's been happening in your life? Man, what I see recently that I thought was really cool. Can't think of it. Oh, you know what? I went out to Devil's Backbone, which is a rock formation in the town I live, Loveland, Colorado. I had actually never hiked up the trail before. I've driven past it many, many times, but it's only recently where I've become like physically active to the point where I want to like be seeking out, you know, hiking trails, whatever. So let's bring this down here to draw a little bit. If this ever goes off frame, by the way, I'm really sorry. My computer is a little bit away from me, and I'll be kind of a little bit paranoid about potentially turning off the microphone, because part of this is like I would like people to be able to draw along, and that involves not paying attention visually so much as listening. Just it's something to listen to. This is why artists listen to podcasts frequently when working. I just want to provide something for other artists to work to. It's all the way to the edge of the playmat. Anyway, what I was going to say is several of the audio pieces, or the audio from the other Inktober stuff that I've done has not been super consistent, and the reason was there's some static electricity problems with the microphone I'm using right now, and I don't want to risk causing that to shut the mic off during this video. And since I'm sitting away from the computer, rather not get up. Anyway, so the computer has gone black, which is why I was saying all that. And so as a result, I don't know if I'm in frame or not, but that's okay, because if you're drawing along rather than just actually watching this video, which I would assume is the most boring thing ever, but you know, you can speed it up. I think you can. Maybe I'll offer like really sped up versions of these. That seems like a good idea. Those are watchable. I'll speed them up to maybe 3 minutes a piece. Anyway. Okay, so I have a thing to talk about. Eric Fortune, he's a fellow illustrator who I've never met, but he's very good. He's quite good. He does part illustration, part fine art. And now I might be incorrect about this, and I apologize if this is the case, but I believe he works in oils and in watercolor, and the styles are very similar, but he's fantastic. Anyway, so he posted a video today that was a part of the Making It documentary, which was just like interviews with him and a bunch of different artists that they debuted at Spectrum, Fantastic Art Live. And you know, he's an incredible artist, and he's found a way to make a living through well, I don't know how he's doing right now, because frankly well, I'll get into that. I'll get into my opinion on the Making It video in a second. But yeah, it was a really cool video that he released today, which was him working on a watercolor piece. And what it said was that it was 100 hours of work on this piece, and that to me was crazy to think about for a second. And then I was like, okay, because all right, so for recently I've been thinking about like what I charge for my work and how much time I spend on my work, and I don't time myself in my work, and my assumption is that I'm actually just taking like roughly 16 hours to complete work. But recently I have been, I don't know, I just haven't been making money hardly at all, even though I've been like constantly busy. And the rates are just atrocious for the companies that I'm getting work through. So, you know, I was having a discussion with my mom, who also does not make great money, but makes a living wage at what she does. And, you know, between her and my dad, they earn a dual income to afford the house that they live in. And I asked how much the mortgage was, like monthly, how much do they pay? And the answer was $3,000. And I was like, I don't think think I've ever had $3,000, despite not having hardly any bills to pay compared to them. I have never had $3,000 to my name at a time, at a single moment in time. And I couldn't imagine at this point having $3,000. So I was like, how do I up my rates? Anyway, so back to Eric Fortune. He's spending 100 hours on this piece, and I'm thinking, this is the problem for me. I'm doing these pieces, I'm trying to turn out these pieces that, they're enjoyable. They could be better. And to make them better, I need to spend more time, but I haven't had the luxury of actually being able to spend that time. I just don't, I have to meet deadlines, and the pieces I'm getting pay like 100 to 150. I mean, it's just really, really bad. So my thought was like, how do I transition my art skill? Because I can be as skilled, or I can create the imagery that all the, like, I'm looking at all these artists and it's just incredible, and I'm like, wow, they're really great. And then I think, I've done stuff like this, but it's taken me forever, and I just never considered it like remotely feasible to create that sort of art. Like to spend that amount of time on a freelance piece would be crazy. 100 hours? There's no way I would put that much time into one piece for, even for, like, even if Magic the Gathering, they're throwing down, I mean, maybe. I would probably do it right now, to be honest. But realistically, to make a living wage, to spend 100 hours on a piece and to get paid $2,000 for it seems wrong. And that's like the very upper end of what Wizards pays, as far as I'm aware. I've never done work for them, but whatever. And I'm thinking, like, so I'm sort of at a loss as to, like, what the next move is, because I can do these amazing pieces, and I'm just, because I've been noticing this with Inktober, I'm sort of translating that gotta get it done now mentality into just these personal whatever pieces, the Inktober pieces, rather than let's spend some time and create something insane. And I feel like that is what Eric Fortune's mentality is. He wants to create something he's really proud of. Where I'm trying to create something I'm proud of, but get it done in a timely fashion. And I think that mentality might be detrimental to myself and my career. Who knows? I fear that I am so far off the camera right now. Just dragging it back in, reining it back in. So, anyway, and the reason it's detrimental is, like, the more you do these, like, quick, I gotta get it done now things, the more your skills slip, I think. I would like to get back to the point where it's like, alright. I'm a little weird as far as I view myself. And by weird, I mean, like, borderline, like, I hate myself. Or I just have, like, I have zero respect for my work. I said borderline. I do have respect for my work, but here's the mentality I tend to have with it is, if the best of the best, if my competition is not raving about it and sharing it and whatever. I feel like it basically fell flat, you know, like it just wasn't good enough. And yeah, so and part of that is just like a perfectionist sort of thing, like I want it to be good enough, and you know, sometimes it's mentally, like it's good for me mentally to think of the piece that way, like I want to do the best I possibly can. Great, you know, but what sometimes ends up happening is that I actually feel bad that a piece received zero like thought from anyone, and I'm like, oh god, I'm just like, how am I even supposed to continue? I've been working so hard for so long, and if I'm not getting any like kudos, or you know, I don't know. Anyway, what I'm saying is I need to find new respect for my work and just appreciate it by myself, for myself. Because that's, you know, when it comes down to it, you just got to be happy with what you do, with the work you do. So my thought is I need to get the hell out of the work I'm doing, because I'm not making money in it, and I'm not improving as a result of doing it. So where do I go? And that's a good question. I think it might begin with just personal pieces. Obviously, I have to make money somehow. I need to decide whether that's going to be through art or through other means. I could certainly do only studies as far as art's concerned. And not do pieces, well, do only let's revise that statement. Only studies and personal art pieces, and nothing for clients for a very long time, and only make money through an actual, you know, 9 to 5 whatever. To hopefully arrive at the point where like maybe I have enough money to start up my own, you know, whatever, my own project of some kind. Okay, I need to decide whether I'm going to do this fairy or not. I don't want to fill it with all clouds. Let's just end this cloud right here. I'm liking what you're throwing down. But yeah, I'm excited. All right, so and then going, all right, I need to rein in what I'm talking about right here, because I like to just skip around on topics like it's nobody's business, and it throws me off a great deal. So what do I want to say? I am a little burnt out on the digital bullcrap. Here's part of it. I've been working digitally forever, because when I first got Photoshop, or I like made the decision ages ago that to be competitive in what I want to do, which is illustration, concept art, I need to be doing digital stuff, which is, you know, somewhat true. Somewhat. Illustration, not at all, I would say. I need to be probably somewhat fluent in the software, but as far as like needing to use it from scratch, that's a bunch of baloney. And frankly, I am more impacted by, you know, emotionally, or just like my feelings towards the piece. I tend to enjoy traditional stuff so much more than digital. Tend to, not all the time, but like frankly, the stuff that Alex Ross is putting out, the stuff that you know, Eric Fortune does, Donato Giancola. I mean, you could list off whoever, but I like their most boring pieces still speak to me in ways. Niels Hamm is another one I want to mention because I think his magic cards are just, every time I look at them, it's like, oh man, it's just so nice to see stuff that looks like fine art, that has a feeling, that has that sense of movement without needing to be this like super highly rendered. Not that, by the way, Donato Giancola, Alex Ross, probably the like top echelon of people, you know, that can render out stuff to a ultra realistic look. So I'm not saying like exclusively you know, what am I saying? Just not exclusively, can't think when I'm drawing, expressive work, I guess. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm just talking about like the people that really enjoy what they're doing, and you know, they clearly just like to do what the, you know, this kind of stuff. Like that's their style, you know. And it's crazy to think about because I kept on switching style. I kept on not getting noticed by Wizards of the Coast for ages, and the reason was I just wasn't good enough. You know, like I just wasn't practicing the skills I needed to be practicing. That was the entire reason. And now that I've gotten to a point where I feel like my skills are good enough, I'm just not putting in the time in the pieces to get noticed. You know, I'm not rendering them like all the way where they need to be rendered because the pieces I'm doing, I'm not getting paid enough. Like I can't, you know, I need to be earning a certain amount, you know, or else we're all screwed. And, you know, I feel like I have no time to return to it, and, you know, I could complain all day, but the reality is I kind of just want to go back to refining my my skills at just traditional drawing, traditional watercolor, and just return to where I started, and start to produce some of these, some of the monotype prints that were really getting people talking when I was at, when I was in college. I won awards for printmaking. Granted, it's a small pool of people, but these are images that still, I think, are, you know, they're my favorite pieces. And if I'm not creating what I think is my favorite work, I'm just creating stuff for other people. You know, it's okay for a time, but if I'm doing that, I want to be, you know, earning several thousand a piece and not doing this bullcrap. You know, spend 30 hours doing, and I need to get back to that too. I kind of got off topic earlier, but spend 30 hours doing a piece that's getting me paid, you know, $100 to $200, which, I mean, we're talking under minimum wage at that point. For a lot of areas, I guess it's not, I don't know what exactly that equates to. I haven't done the math, but it's low. It's very low. And I get paid 30 days later, if that, sometimes later than that, depending on if the art director was kind enough to, depends on the company. But I guess I'll speak about AEG. What happened with them is I crushed this assignment. I felt, I got done with the work so far ahead of schedule, and it was 4 pieces they wanted me to do in like a couple weeks, and they were desperate for pieces, and I did it, and I felt I did them well, at least at the time. I think I could do a much better job presently, but yeah, I was being paid $90 a piece for them, so under $400. And we're talking about, I spent I spent about, let's see, I got done 5 days early. I mean, I was working 14-hour days for several days. It took me a while. I can't remember exactly, but I spent an awful lot of time on that. Anyway, and when I got done with it, they changed the deal from pay on completion to, and by the way, when I say deal, AEG doesn't have you sign contracts for the reason that, I guess, I'm going to say that I'm making a lot of assumptions here, but my assumptions are that management at AEG does not want the artists to believe anything other than they're paying on completion. And they worded I felt that they worded the initial email in such a way. And then when the payment order was sent out, it was net 30 days after completion of the work, and I was like, okay, fine. And then once 35 days were up, I still didn't have money, and this devolved into pay on publication, which means if they never publish it, I never get money. This was terrifying for me at the time that I was doing this assignment, because I didn't know if I was going to be able to pay rent, and thankfully I have at least one good client out there who matches and sometimes exceeds the rates of companies like AEG, the lower tier companies. And he is very aware of the bullcrap that people like myself, the illustrators, need to go through, and is very willing to do things to help out and get, when he can, like give assignments like almost in reverse emergency, like normally it's like the client emergency needs work, and it's almost like the reverse of that, where I emergency needed work to do. And multiple times he's been, this is Martin Lambert with Heroes Tears, by the way. He developed the Heroes Tears RPG, and I've been working on that for ages, several years. But yeah, he's an incredible person, I would say. Like super, super nice guy. Like I feel every time he's helped me out, I've felt so bad, like so unprofessional, and it's not even my fault, really. Like I feel like it is, but it's not. Like these companies are driving the industry into the ground, and they don't realize it. They're paying crap. Like they're supposed to be a stepping stone for other bigger things, but I'm thinking, if I didn't have the support behind me that I do with my parents, like I'm pretty freaking old, 28, still living with my parents, and if I didn't have that, there's zero chance I'm doing the work that I'm doing. Like zero chance. I just drop art, or I live on the street. I don't know. Like there's just no chance I do it professionally at all. Like they need to realize that that's a reality, and there's going to come a time when people who are not yet in the industry realize this, like way in advance. They're like, can't make money at it doing these jobs, and no one's going to want to work for AEG. No one's going to want to work for other companies. I don't want to mention other companies I'm actually still working for right now, but I think they're aware. If they pay in the realm of what I mentioned, they're aware. But yeah, the reality is right now, I have very few bills to pay. I do have bills, but very few, and my account hit 0, and I'm not really spending money. Like it's nuts. My car just broke down. I can't fix my car. Like it's just insane to me. I need to, like, right now I have a ton of support behind me, and I still feel like I'm in this situation where, like, do I drop art? And I frankly I'm not willing to right now, but this is the first time I've seriously considered it. And we're talking about a person, myself, who was like the most highly skilled person at oh man, I know this is like way off the screen. Like in my college, I was the man as far as drawing skills went. And I was aware of that for a time. There was a point where I like came down to earth and realized I wasn't so great. But like obviously I'm not the best ever in the world. I'm just saying, you're talking about like all these other artists who are not skilled. Get out of here. Sorry, there was a fly. If you weren't watching and thought I was telling you to leave, I'm not. But yeah, like all these other artists, like I know so many different artists from school who are all tremendously talented and all are not working in art right now. Like, and I was the best and I'm not making a living at it right now. Best drawer, I need to specify that I was not the best artist. I went to school for fine art, so obviously conceptually I sucked, I thought, but I don't know. I kind of wanted to rant. I don't want to like inflate my skills. They're not insane. I'm just saying that I'm concerned about, I guess, a couple things here. One, the state of the industry of art in general, and two, just colleges and how they treat the students who are learning this profession, and that they're not really doing anything to prepare you for a world outside of school. Or at least I didn't feel that they did for me. So I need to look up, I think, what Thassa's eyes look like. But maybe I should just call it a day because I need to take off. But yeah, it was a good chat. I think I'm gonna end on no, I don't want to end on a negative note. So what I'm gonna do here is try and think of something really positive that happened recently. So let's talk about I want to just discuss that piece, and like going back to Eric Fortune, it was gorgeous. And what I want to say to Eric, assuming he ever listens to this video, I bet he won't, but if he ever makes it around to it, images like that and the process, the work that went into it, seeing that, I don't get more inspired to draw than viewing videos like that. So I guess as much as I feel negative about the state of the industry and making money through art right now and just like making it my profession, I feel so positive about where the future of my artwork personally is going, because I'm so inspired by that video. And people like Sokar Miles, all, like every time I see a piece by her, I always want to just pick up some pencils, a pen, and just go to town. And for me, you know, the inspiration is somewhat just this is the kind of person I am. This is where I was saying, like, sometimes my mentality gets negative. I don't feel that this I think this is actually very positive for me, but I have a very competitive attitude when it comes to art. I have to win. And when I see pieces like that, I'm like, I need to make something better than that. And it's all subjective, so it's impossible. It's an impossible goal. But I need to feel as though I succeeded. And I think that's very helpful. I just wanted to thank Eric Fortune for being the artist that he is. And also Sokar Miles for doing the wonderful pen drawings that she thinks they're not that good. I think she has similar mentalities to mine. She needs to stop, because I need to stop and realize that her art is nuts. Like, no joke. I'm not being at all, like, I'm not exaggerating. I think she, like, she does some crazy stuff. I cannot actually believe the amount of detail that's in, like, short drawings that she does. I need to put this fairy in here, man. All right, next time I'm gonna call this a day on this. This is not finished, but this is for a client and I need to go. But this is this Inktober, and it was nice chatting with everyone. And you know, maybe I'll send Eric Fortune a message, even though I don't know him. I'll send Sokar, although I've told Sokar multiple times that she inspires me greatly. But yeah, I'm off to meet several really cool artists. Hopefully I can vent at them a little bit. And they will be very receptive and probably vent back at me, and that's kind of how artists talk to each other, and that's what all of the Making It documentary was about. God dang it, these tentacles. Sorry, I need to get in here. And so yeah, I'm gonna jump up and turn this video off, but it's been real, it's been fun, it's been real fun, but I gotta get the hell out of here. All right, okay, bye. Oh, turn off.